One of the questions people ask about our Blessed Mary's Assumption, where is the proof in the Bible? Especially Protestants, non-Catholics, those people ask this. Why do you believe in the Assumption of Mother Mary? Nowhere in the Bible it is mentioned that Mother Mary went up to heaven with his body and soul. There are only two people mentioned in the Bible other than Jesus, that is, went up to heaven with the body and soul. Elijah the prophet, he did not die. He was taken up to heaven in chariot of fire. And another person in the book of Genesis, we don't have much information about him, Enoch, who walked with God. So these are the two people mentioned who assumed into heaven. But Mother Mary nowhere mentioned. But we can find signs of Mary's Assumption, though this belief in Assumption was existing from the time church was born. Where do you find? Today's readings all show. The first reading was Book of Revelation, and Book of Revelation indicates a woman clothed with the sun and the stars around her head, etc. in the heavens. So she is in heaven, at least that much we know. And in the second reading, letter to the Corinthians, God has given this privilege to some, that is mentioned in the second reading. And the gospel, Mother Mary herself says, all generations will call me blessed. And her presence and her child's presence recognized by Elizabeth and Elizabeth's son, who is in the womb, little John the Baptist. It was a meeting of two ladies and two babies. Babies recognized each other, the God in Mother Mary, and John the Baptist in the womb of Elizabeth recognized the baby, and Elizabeth recognized Mother Mary's status, addressed her for the first time in the Bible, Mother of my Lord. Mother of my Lord means not mother of Jesus or mother of any human being, Mother of God. That is how Elizabeth addressed. So we have indications and signs in the Bible that Mary had this privilege. But even then, still people ask, why this privilege to Mother Mary? Nobody else got it. This assumption, this mentioned in the Bible, are they too? Even Pope John the 23rd said, probably at the time of ascension, Saint John the Baptist and Saint Joseph also assumed into heaven. Not officially a dogma, but John the 23rd mentions once in his talk. So why this special privilege given to Mother Mary as assumption with the body and soul? There are many reasons behind. Let me give you 3 reasons from the Bible itself, not from the readings exactly, but her privilege comes from, first privilege is she carried God. She was a carrier of God. What is carrying God? She carried God in her womb, in her body. John Paul II addresses her the first tabernacle. What is the meaning of tabernacle? This on my left, that golden door there is a tabernacle where Jesus is kept. Jesus is there present. Where Jesus is present, we call tabernacle in the church. So the first tabernacle was not this in the church. First tabernacle was living tabernacle, the body of Mother Mary. Mother Mary carried God in her body. That's a special privilege. Nobody else had this privilege to carry God in a human body. Mother Mary had this privilege. So that was the first thing. Second thing, she walked with God entire life. Where do you find she walked with God? We find her at crucial moments of her son, walking with her son. She was walking with her son towards his death. When no other disciples could walk with her son, she walked. She stood by her son at the time of his death. So she was a person who was always following her son, literally, physically, even in mind. She was concerned about her son, and she was always with God. How many of us do walk with God? How many of us do really be with God? Mother Mary had this privilege, and she literally did this in her life. Third thing, she interceded with God. What is interceding? Very many incidents in the Bible, Gospel, we find Mother Mary asking God to help others and helping others. Today's reading, Gospel is, she is helping an aged woman, her cousin Elizabeth, and she stayed with that aged woman till John Baptist was born. 3 months she stayed, because Elizabeth was already 6 months carrying baby John, and till the John was born, Mother Mary stayed and helped her. We find her helping a family at a wedding party, and she asked her son to help. She interceded with her son. Though son never worked a miracle, that was the first sign, St. John says. First miracle, son worked a miracle at the request of mother. We find her again interceding with the disciples to God. And that was a last scene of Mother Mary in the Bible, in the book of Acts. She is praying with the disciples before the Holy Spirit came. Though the disciples deserted her son, she was able to gather the disciples and prayed together, interceding. So we find her a person who intercedes, a person who walks with God, a person who carries God. This is a very simple thing actually. All of us can do this. All of us can do this. Carrying God. We always have God during the Eucharist. We receive God. So we carry God in our body. We walk with God. God is everywhere. Only thing that God is walking with us, we may not be walking with God. And we can surely intercede with our God for others. Not only for ourselves, even for others. That's all Mother Mary did. I remember one film which I saw about Mother Mary, an Italian film. In that film, it is about Mother Mary. The final scene of that movie is Assumption, actually. Very rarely we have a movie about Mother Mary. Lots of movies about Jesus. In this movie, I like the scene of Assumption. What is Assumption? Mother Mary is in her room, and the disciples are all sleeping, and we do not know Mother Mary died or Mother Mary is sleeping, because this theory of Mary's death, some fathers of the church, Western fathers of the church, believe she died and after that she was taken up to heaven. Eastern fathers of the church believe she did not die, she slept. In fact, in Jerusalem there is a temple, there is a church called Church of Dormition of Mary, means sleeping Mary, not death of Mary, sleeping. She only slept. So in this scene, we see Mother Mary in her bed. We do not know whether she died or sleeping, and Jesus comes into that room. And what does Jesus do? That's Assumption scene. Jesus takes the body of his mother, carries in his hand, and goes up to the skies. That is the scene of Assumption. I believe if we carry God, if we walk with God, and if we intercede with God, Jesus will carry us one day with our body into heaven. We say in the Creed, I believe in the resurrection of the body. On the final day, we all will be carried in our glorified body by Jesus to heaven.